You're listening to Lather Talk with your hosts John Shea and Gerard Gustillo.
So I will have to say up front, I apologize in advance. I've been dealing with a cold for the past month and it's like every time I think I'm about to like turn the corner, it comes back or changes. So what had, this is how you know you're getting older, is you're talking about your health ailments, but like where it lingered between like a dry cough and a kind of a gross cough. Today it feels like a normal cold, so I hope that means it's on its way out, because like it's kind of like head congestion and like runny nose. So my apologies for any sneezing or coughing. It's like totally okay for a while, and then it'll just like rear its ugly head. Good times.
Yeah, no.
Good times.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It's been crazy. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yes. Video watchers, I hope you appreciate my mug here. That sums it up right there.
It's a great mug.
That was a gift. I think Taryn gave that to me one year. She has good taste.
Very good.
Yeah. So Gerard, we're like in the thick of it as far as the holiday season goes. So first, happy Thanksgiving to you, and
it's been crazy.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the listeners out there who celebrated. Any highlights? What was your favorite thing you ate at Thanksgiving this year?
I would definitely say, like, I don't want to say traditional on Thanksgiving. You know, like everyone obviously celebrates however they want to, but I just lean into the traditional Thanksgiving foods because it's really the only time of year I have them. I don't necessarily eat like stuffing any other time, like maybe Christmas, but like, the turkey, the stuffing, making like a green bean casserole from scratch and stuff like that. Kind of, going like, I don't want to say bougie, but making almost like a cream of mushroom soup from scratch, getting like, some dried toasted onions and stuff like that, and roasting green beans and everything. It's just, it's really nice. Like everything in between. Like I make cranberry from scratch.
Nice.
And so, like sometimes I think growing up, like we would have a little bit of everything. We'd have some like Filipino favorites, that we would always like. But no, I think just lately, the past few years, it's been, let's stick to the classics, because it's really besides this and Christmas, no ham for Thanksgiving. I think we usually we'll push that off to Christmas, along with, maybe we'll do like a rib roast or something like that as well. But who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. In past years, Gerard and I are both foodies. We enjoy cooking as well, just eating as well. I'm right with you there. We have a good representation of Taiwanese dishes, some sushi, some other dishes, but the traditional American Thanksgiving food definitely is a highlight for me. I love a good turkey, and having roasted two or three in my day. I'm still improving, still making some mistakes here and there, but I like it. The different thing I tried this year. So we traveled to New York, and like the morning of Thanksgiving, it's a whirlwind, great time with family, immediate family and extended. I did try making a pumpkin pie from scratch, not all the way though. So I don't want to like pat myself in the back too hard. I used a pre-made crust, Pillsbury, but I did the filling on my own and found something, and it was quite good for like, I love pies, but I don't usually bake, but my results were quite happy with it. I'd make another one, and now I kind of understand why like Costco, you can get like the gigantic pumpkin pie for like, what is it, like $6, $7?
I mean, I think I saw it on either Instagram or TikTok or one of those things going around, and it was just like a shot of all of either the pumpkin pies, pecan pies, apple pies at a Costco.
Yeah.
And I swear there was probably like 2,000 pies, something it looks something ridiculous, maybe more. And it was just like it was like slowly then descending over, the course of like the day or the weekend or whenever it was. It might have been just might have just been one day, which would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it was so crazy. I was just like, holy smokes, this is just wild.
Yeah, it's a foodie's holiday. And with like the whole holidays thing too, we had recorded just before Halloween, so we've talked since then, but we haven't recorded anything since then. So listeners, apologies on that one. Gerard gave me a heads up that November was going to be busy, and then as I mentioned just before, I've been dealing with sickness, so kind of trying to like between the podcast and trying to just do like a YouTube video and churn something out, the podcast took a hit. So again, thanks for rolling with it. But here we are. We're going to get to it for December and go strong, finish the year strong. Fingers crossed, of course, because next episode is episode 69, Gerard. But it's going to be like the Christmas episode too. So I'm like, oh man, oh boy.
It's going to be a very nice episode.
That's right. That's
nice.
Right. Nice.
The nicest episode we've had yet. That's all. That's what we're going to call it. We're just going to call it the nice episode.
Oh, man. That'll be good. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And today's episode actually it's pretty exciting. We'll have two big announcements coming right up, and of course our normal catch up, and we'll finish things up with a great question I asked the members of the Lather Talk Discord for just any questions they had for Gerard and I, and one user gave us a great one to kind of just tackle for later this episode. So I'll try to do that in the future when I just remember to do so, especially when just you and me recording. Having something from our fellow Discord members, it's always a nice way to get some interesting conversation going. So shout out to our patrons. Thank you so much for supporting Lather Talk. If you want to help out the show financially, you can go check out the Patreon over at patreon.com/lathertalk. Again, that URL is patreon.com/lathertalk. Also, you can just support the show in other ways that don't require money. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button if you're enjoying this show, and consider becoming a subscriber and don't miss out on any new episodes or other content. Well, I think that's good for holiday talk. Let's roll into the first announcement. So for those of you who have been listening since last year, we had a fall collaboration, our first collaboration with House of Mammoth called Voices, still available over at House of Mammoth, and as well as some other retailers. So if you're still looking to
get the award-winning
House of
Mammoth Voices
inspired by the dish mango sticky rice. So it's got a bit of a gourmand vibe, but it's also got enough to keep it clone-y. Anyway, that was last year. We have our second collaboration, Gerard. Very excited to announce with you guys for you guys today. We did mention here and there, first time on the podcast, I should say, and it is a Lather Talk and Ariana and Evans collaboration. It's going to be called Stateside Sonata, coined by your boy Gerard. So thank you for giving us a name for this wonderful collaboration, Gerard. Let me give you a quick description for you guys.
Sure.
The scent of Stateside Sonata. The idea was to take elements of both the East Coast and West Coast, our respective homes, and give Peter Trikalis, owner and operator of A&E, to just run wild, make something that's crowd pleasing, something that's sure to kind of appeal to the majority of people. So what he came up with was an apple chypre that draws both from the East and West Coast. Scent notes include green apple, hints of mandarin and tangerines, salt, hibiscus, lavender, a hint of orange blossom, bonfire, redwood, cedar, and oak moss. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. it was a great process. I think there was just a little bit back and forth. I think it kind of nailed it in 2 versions. Peter is very easy to work with. Some other details. The soap is going to be featured in the new VR2 base, which is their latest vegan base. It'll be the aftershave splash will be in the Ultima formula, and there will also be a matching fragrance. So that's going to come to you soon. The actual release date is TBD, but let me see if we can share with you for at least for the viewers on YouTube. Well, hopefully this is working.
It's okay.
This is the art. This is
But
the label.
I'll just
Yeah. You've seen it. It's in your messenger. But yeah, great work here. And this is by friend of the show, Wise One, who's done other graphic designs for us. So thank you so much, Wise One. Always a stellar job there.
You know, I think some of the natural questions people are going to ask, you know, just comparing it to Voices, and they're very much different, different themes and everything. You know, we you know, kind of like pegged Voices as like almost like a wearable mature gourmand, you know, with the mango and with the sticky coconut rice. But Stateside Sonata is very much, I think, I'm not going to say like a melting pot of the two of us, because it's not necessarily a mishmash, but I feel it's like a fruit salad, if you will. Then again, that's also a gourmand, but it's not really gourmandy to me at all. The apple, you know, is probably the most prominent note. That's something that we kind of both like just noticed and agreed on.
Yeah.
But everything else just really mellows it out very nicely. Very much looking forward to it. I think it's gonna, it's very much I want to say a sweet leaning scent. That's, you know, we're not apologetic on that at all, but at the same time, it's just very wearable. Hopefully it invokes some sort of, you know, if you're in the East Coast, if you're in the West Coast, you know, it kind of invokes, you know, some sort of memory, something like that. But no matter where you're from, I think it's ultimately going to be just a crowd pleaser, you know, definitely.
Yeah, and for folks who kind of might group scents into a season, like whether it's a warm weather or cool weather, I think this is a good year-round one. There are notes that make it at home either side. Like if we get artsy, just a second here, you know, like the apples and wood notes would be like, you think of the orchards that are like prominent in New England, Massachusetts in particular, and then sometimes on the dry down, at certain points when I've like test worn it, it's like, oh, this reminds me a bit of like a beach bonfire. You know, it's not to say it's like a soup. I think we were very cognizant not to make it too smoky, which can be a very polarizing note, but like a pleasant, like something that might call your memory back to like a beachside bonfire. I think we have a winner here, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
Definitely. I think if it wasn't, we wouldn't have announced it or released it or anything. So
that is true. I don't think and even for Peter at A&E, like he was definitely, you know, very much wanting to make something that we would be proud to put our name on. And again, it was such an easy process, and very, very thankful for all his work in this project. So so we'll announce it. Look on our social media. If it comes down to it, I'll even do a mini like episode, just announce when it's available, so that those who, if this sounds like a good thing, you won't miss out on it. So details to come, but hopefully before end of the year, this will be ready to go. That's exciting announcement number one. Kind of connected to that, I was able to go to like Ariana Evans HQ a few weeks ago, actually the week before Thanksgiving. All the attendees there. So some people have smelled it. I know David Gonzalez, who I got to meet in person and have chatted with him before. He did a video on it recently because all the attendees got a sample, both soap and splash, of Stateside Sonata. So he and others had some very nice nice things to say. It was cool to meet Peter in person, who I met once before, see their current space, and smell a ton of soaps. That was cool. And just to give a quick shout out, other folks besides David, I met Sepherton Shaves. I saw Lord Shady again, fellow YouTubers, Cape Cod Wet Shaving, Long Island Shaving, and from our Discord, I met Phil C, and I saw Engineered Shaves again for a second time. So a lot of faces old and new, and just it was a chill time. I mean, I was in and out in one day, but it was good. Hopefully we can do a meetup sometime, Gerard. I mean, like, we've met in person, but like go to a wet shaving event, maybe sometime next year. Who knows? Well, we'll see with schedules and children and and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. Life is very, very busy and everything, but it's crazy to think that, I think we talked about this, that it's already been over 2 years since like I first went over there and
yeah,
and met you guys, and like in person. And like I saw you shortly thereafter when you came out to California for vacation, but that just seems like a long time ago. That already seems like a lifetime ago. So yeah, definitely gotta look forward to it. Get something going on.
Yeah, two. Oh my gosh, yeah, 2 years. I whenever you say it, I'm just surprised. Like, oh man, it really has been that long. It doesn't seem too long ago. Speaking of passage of time too, we are 4 years. Lather Talk is 4 years old now. I didn't write it down in my notes, but I think on the November 28th, I think was our first episode.
So crazy.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah.
That is so crazy. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah. Time flies. I mean, it's been fun. It's been a great time.
Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday, Lather Talk. Yeah, yay!
Pretty soon, gonna go into preschool.
Voting age, or I guess driver's license, maybe learner's permit. Yeah, who knows? So that's the update for our second collaboration. Our second big announcement for this episode is, drum roll please, the second annual Lather Talk Awards nominations are open now. And that is on a lovely Google form. You guys can find the link either in the video description or the show notes. It'll be there. We'll also, distribute it on social media. We'll be leaving the nomination process going for about 2 weeks. It'll close on roughly around December 15th. I might just let go for the weekend, but December 15th, it seems like a good number for a cutoff. It's easier to remember that way. And after we shut that down, we'll tally the nominations and then get together an actual voting ballot and let that run for a few weeks. And I think by the end of January or mid to end of January, we'll aim to record the actual episode. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. We expanded the categories. I don't know if you want to read some of the categories we'll be hitting this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're gonna have best razor maker, the best safety razor, best brush maker, the best badger brush knot, synthetic brush knot, and boar brush knot. No horse.
No horse.
Because
we don't do horse.
Nay on the horse.
Nay on the horse.
Best soap maker, best original scent this year, best budget friendly option, or wet shaving product.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be a soap, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The best content creator or YouTuber, TikToker, whatever.
Instagram.
Does Vine still exist?
No.
Instagram.
Yeah.
The best the rookie of the year, and the best overall wet shaving artisan of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Really looking forward to the Hoggies. It's super fun. Just in in general, just to put the spotlight on all the people that have been doing really hard work this year within the community, and just just very much looking forward to everyone's thoughts and opinions.
I have to say that like the enthusiasm, especially a lot of I keep mentioning the Discord just because that's where a lot of our interactions are with our audience, beyond maybe video comments or something like that. But like just people getting into it, the enthusiasm behind it really fuels my own excitement for it. And like you said, Gerard, it's a way to spotlight some stellar folks in the community, just to put it out there, like best wet shaving content creator. That's not meant to like vote for us. We want to honor someone else. So while
and we remove ourselves from it.
No, because it's user so one thing I will be doing besides like the nominees is we will what do you call it? There will be write-in candidates this year, because I think it's just fair. It's like we should leave that open there. So
yeah, of course,
if you write it in, that's fine. But I will disqualify ourselves from honoring ourselves.
Okay.
Like, come on.
Thank you.
Come on now. Thank you though.
We're not that vain.
Yeah, and also if that seems like a lot of categories, or you're like, oh, I'm really into razors, but not brush knots or whatever, it's fine. Especially with the nomination process, you just nominate the ones that you have an opinion on. You don't have to submit something for everything. This is just the preliminary part of the award show. So have fun with it, and let's honor those in the community that are just doing a stellar job. Related to that also is we're taking submissions for this year's Lather Talk Award, aka the Hagi, using AI generated designs. And this year, I think the winning submission or submissions, we'd like to I don't know if we'll vote on it or have a little discussion, but whoever we honor, and we'll share as many as we can. But I also want to gift them with some Lather Talk swag, whether it be like a t-shirt or a mug or something like that. So if you guys are interested in submitting your version of the Hagi, we'd love to see them. That's happening over on the Discord. Or if you want traditional email, you can email it over to me, latherhog@gmail.com, and just write Lather Talk, write Hagi submission. I don't know. Yeah. Just let me know what that is, and good luck to everyone out there. That will remain open until it's time for the actual award show.
If you're looking for a cool place to hang out with traditional shaving enthusiasts, come on down to the Lather Talk Discord. Share your shave of the days, mail calls, or talk about your favorite hardware or software, and just about everything in between. Once again, that's Lather Talk Discord. Check out the link below.
So let's move on then to the listener question, and this one comes from the Lather Talk Discord. It comes from user Zach's Rad username. Great job, Zach. Great. His question for us. He is pretty rad. His question for us, Gerard. How often does wet shaving come up with your friends and family? Like, do your friends use DE razors as well, or do they look at you as passionate enthusiasts but don't get the appeal? Okay, so specifically for friends and family, I mean, my family knows it's what I do. It's kind of like okay, it's weird, but that's cool. Like they wish me success and whatnot. It's not something I bring up like to friends and such. Like specifically if I meet someone new, it's not coming up in our first interaction. It might not even come up ever. It kind of depends.
It's definitely not something you bring up on the first date.
No,
not during like the honeymoon period or anything like that, like the get to know you period with some friends. It's like, what are your hobbies? It's just like, oh, just you might mention personal hygiene, and stuff like that. But
yeah, I have a wet shaving podcast. It's not, like you gotta lead up into that, man, or you gotta have some like
sir,
foundation.
It's
established.
Not just a wet shaving podcast. It's the number one shaving podcast on what?
All
Are
platforms.
we number one on Spotify?
In
On all platforms,
I mean,
pretty much.
Well, truth be told, there's not a specific like wet shaving category. I think we're under for like Apple Podcasts, we're under like hobbies and stuff, which we've charted on there. Actually, if because Spotify does the Wrapped, for those of you who use Spotify, if listeners or viewers out there, if Lather Talk is on your your wrap up, if we showed up in your Spotify Wrapped, share that and tag us in it, and I'll get you something. I'll get you something.
It's funny because I don't I posted on my personal thing, right? Like I pay for Google what is it? YouTube Premium, so no ads on YouTube, which includes YouTube Music.
Oh, it does. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so it includes all access to YouTube Music and nothing on there. So that's my primary like app for listening and stuff. Like I have a Spotify, but I don't pay for Spotify, and so I opened it up and looked at my Spotify Wrapped, and they're like, "We don't have a Wrapped for you this year. Here are some suggestions, from other people." So it's hilarious.
It's cool. Last year, some people shared with it, and I was just honored. I was flattered, and so I want to actively encourage that. Like, if you're listening to any episode, share it. Let us know you're listening. We appreciate. There's people who still don't know about the podcast, so whether they're in the wet shaving space or it's a friend or family or coworker, if you bring them to our door, we greatly appreciate it. Sorry, we went on a tangent though. Talking about friends and family and wet shaving. I think you're in the middle. Yeah, so it's not a first date, not a first date topic. It's not even a honeymoon topic. It's like, once you feel safe, then it comes up.
For me, my brothers, like they use, like I got them some products, so I know that when they do shave, that's what they'll use. Are they going to meetups? No. Do they listen to the podcast? No. I'd be shocked. I think if I told them that, still do the podcast, they're like, if I told them like, hey, we did 4 years of the podcast, their reaction would be like, you still do that? But at the same time, I got into it through I met you through a mutual friend, and stuff like that. So I know he still obviously does wet shaving, and I would say within the circle, of friends, it's pretty much known that they're like, if you have a question regarding like shaving, aftershaves, fragrances, that stuff, you should just hit up Gerard. He'll tell you anything and everything you need to know. Actually I had a friend, like no joke, like a friend this week, like who knows that I'm into it. He sent me what did he do? He sent me he shared something from Patrick Cadeau from Supply.
Oh yeah.
Razors, and he asked me, he's like, do I know about them, like what's my opinion if I do, and stuff like that. And yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere. He hasn't really, I've known this person for years. He hadn't really asked me anything. So I just said, yeah, some, modern injector razor, it's very good. It is different than your typical double edge razor and whatnot. And but yeah, it was nice that he either remembered to ask or just thought of me immediately when he saw it. And so we'll see, yeah, shout out to Patrick. If you don't worry, I'm not asking for a commission fee or anything like that.
That's funny. I had a longtime friend too who knows I do this or are posting on Instagram and doing YouTube and whatever. But like he was talking about it one time, and he wound up getting the Supply razor too, and really liked it. I think that buy-in, whatever gets you, whether it's like using a brush or the novelty of using a traditional razor or something, or whatever, something brand new, if they're hooked on it, it's easier because like from that we talked about like post shave products and like other like soaps, like what are good soaps and creams and whatnot. So I was able to
Yeah.
send some his way and have more have more organic conversation, about the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like, for the most part, I think if people ask, they don't want to be overwhelmed with like information.
Yeah.
They just want like,
Yeah.
it's like when you go to a new restaurant and you just ask what's good. Like you're not asking for everything. You're just asking for the one thing. And so, sometimes you just want to, start off slow and start off something like that. And, you just go from there. I think people, just to answer the question about like, do they look you as passionate enthusiasts but don't get the appeal? I think people get the appeal of quote unquote saving money, right? Like,
Sure.
like how we've said it so many times, it's practically everyone's story, that I didn't want to spend stuff on a Gillette Fusion or, a Schick Quattro or whatever, whatever it is. And I wanted to look for something to save money. And people like connect with that. And then it's when they figure out like, oh, there's like another world besides cartridge razors or disposable razors. And that's when they kind of get, overwhelmed with stuff like that. And people are simply not interested in knowing anything and everything, which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly valid. But it's also why we have so much fun, doing this.
Yeah, it's you discover how far the rabbit hole goes, right? And all the different offshoots. But just shout out to those who. I mean, the people I'm going to describe are not the ones who are probably looking for a wet shaving podcast. In fact, they'll probably research the techniques and stuff either on blog articles or YouTube videos. Find the stuff they like. Maybe buy their favorite tub of cream or tub of soap once or twice a year to refill, and that's it. And that's kind of they're good to go. They have their 1DE. They're not looking what's the latest and greatest, and that's very important just as far as wet shaving grows, because not everyone gets into like that into the weeds, like that geeky level. Just like for anything else, like some people or a lot of people enjoy music or they enjoy going to the movies, and then you have the other sect that's like studying filmography and like dissecting everything. Like I know both of us love like Marvel movies, and there are channels dedicated to like picking out every Easter egg, like what's this a reference to? Like that's a whole other level of engagement. But whether you're more casual or you're like a hardcore fan, we're still enjoying the same thing. And I think that's very much the case with wet shaving, except maybe more extreme because it's like a everyday grooming thing. To embrace it as a hobby, you are a real one, and we thank you for listening. So I I feel like we fairly answered that question, correct?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, Zach, I hope that I thought it was a good question. I liked it when you otherwise I wouldn't have chosen it.
It's good. It's a good question, but sometimes it's also like you might expect a more exciting answer when
Fair.
it's not that of an exciting of an answer sometimes.
True. The thought crossed my mind though, kind of related. Like yesterday, I'm just like, are there toothbrush enthusiasts? Or are they just dentists? Like, what other grooming things? I know there's people really into like pomades and stuff, and there's a whole artisan community there, and scents and whatnot. I know that's a thing.
I mean, people are into combs, right?
Are they? Okay, that is news to me.
Kent is a very,
Oh,
yeah. So Kent, I think it's the same like vintage brush maker. Like they used to make shaving brushes as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kent out of England, they make handmade combs.
Okay. Oh, cool.
I think they're
Okay, comb. I was gonna say beard
so
care.
They're very much look
right. Like beard care is
same
a big
kind of deal.
big scene.
Obviously we are not the spokespeople for that.
I got nothing.
It is.
Sorry.
I thought about doing No Shave November,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, why? I'm like, we've talked about this though. Like, I don't grow like facial hair well, so I don't grow a beard. I just look dirty. I
Mm.
just look like I haven't like I haven't kept up with like my hygiene. You're like, have you taken a bath? You know, like that's what it's gonna look like. So,
Scraggly.
like I said, if I could grow like even, you know, like a nice thick beard, I probably would. I'd probably, you know, like keep that thing very svelte, you know.
Mm.
Shout out to Ross, our friend Ross, who has who's able to grow a magnificent beard.
Oh yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, no, like it doesn't like that's never happening. That if I was going to put that on Santa's wish list to be able to grow like facial hair, like with gusto, then you know that would be nice for you know one day. But
So with that, as well as our two big announcements, that's kind of we're kind of winding things down, and just to kind of bring it back to the top of the episode where the holiday season, Thanksgiving just passed. I did want to throw this question for you and me, Gerard. It's one that we've given our guests in the past, just to share. What are three things you're thankful for to end things on a positive note?
yeah, three things I'm thankful for. I am definitely thankful for just you know we say the gift of life, right? You know, and so this year I turned 40. So I'm, you know, very thankful to have made it, you know, quote unquote, this far. I'm expecting my second, you know, this February, which is already crazy. It's just, you know,
So
just
crazy.
around the corner. And so it is so crazy. You know, and um, Sarah, my wife, and I were talking about it. Just like, does it seem like this just like went so fast? Because, you know, in with our first with Julian, you know, I think, you know, we didn't have like, you know, we didn't have a little one yet running around, so we're able to kind of like prepare, like look at stuff and everything. But this time around we're just like we're you know, she's pregnant while we're still raising, you know, one in the meantime, so we don't have that time, you know, to prepare in the same manner because we're just like attending to him or whatever and stuff like that. But yeah, it just feels like it's gone by so fast. So yeah, just yeah, it sounds cliche, but yeah, definitely just thankful for the gift of life and everything like that. I'm also thankful for family and friends. We're, you know, our family's growing this year, but you know, we've lost some people, you know, like that are close to us,
Hmm.
and it's been kind of like a wake up call as well. You know, just to, you know, not take people's time and those friendships and relationships for granted. Always like, you know, let the people know like that are close to you, you know, like how much they mean to you. And then things we're thankful for. I'm thankful for. I mean, again, I feel like it sounds so cliche. I don't know. Like, am I thankful for? Am I thankful for soap? Am I thankful for like, you know, that you know that brush that I could scratch off my bucket list, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like those are just like so vain, you know, to be thankful for.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'll be optimistic. I'm just gonna I'll just kind of maybe go the cliche route. I'm thankful for the optimism for the future and
Hmm.
everything like that. So
Okay.
yeah, like I don't know what it's going to be like with the new one coming sooner than later, and just everything that goes along with that. You know, it's still you know, a brave new world out there, and we're just like in it and discovering new things about it.
Awesome. Love that. Love those responses. And apologies if I kind of like I'm gonna have some overlap with you. Um,
Sure, no.
which I think it's because we have a lot of shared values. And first and foremost, yeah, family, specifically my wife and two kids, just for like their support. I think a lot of times when there's ups and downs, uh, it's easy to take family for granted, and even though sometimes I have to actively just like, like every moment counts. People told me your kids grow up so fast, and to try to cherish the moment at whichever stage they are, and that's definitely happened. They're 10 and 8 now, and sometimes I wonder like, oh, what are like? It's easier to remember when they're like kind of like helpless and you're attending to every need, but now like you can actually play with them and have like have some like deeper conversations and whatnot. I do have to remind myself to like get off the phone, like even though like you might be taking your little break and whatever, but it's easy to get caught up in that stuff to spend time with them. So I'm always trying to remind myself to be here and present for all of them. But at the same time, so I thank them for just like, I don't know, it's for their love, their unconditional love, and they're just very 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 important. It's yeah, they're my reminder, to appreciate life and the goodness to be found in it. My second thing, and also might be sounding cliche, but it's the wet shaving community. In particular, I'll be more specific than that because we had that the meetup at A&E, and how good it is to people that you've interacted with online, right, for years, and then to finally meet face to face. It's something special, and so these meetups are always such a great reminder of that. And just even with like video calls and other things, like technology is a great bridge, but it doesn't beat sharing a drink or eating some food together, just having a good time. So yeah, so just as a callback to that meetup at A&D, it's just great. And shout out to Peter for organizing that and hosting that. It was so good to meet friends, old and new. Third, thankful for, it goes back to, I think, that whole thing about time and being in the moment. In particular, I'm thinking of, since I just saw my folks, they're getting older, and to make the most of it. How it's easy in the busyness of things to not call home, or just like think of it as a nuisance. Like, oh, okay, I feel obligated to check in or whatever. But again, when you meet face to face, like, oh yeah, we're all getting older, and like, our time together, we really got to make the most of it. So that's not meant as a grim and like grim and dark way. I think it's more of it's just I look at it as a hopeful, in a hopeful light, to appreciate the time that we have with those in our lives, so family, friends, etc. So that's those are my three things. Very very people centric. Yeah. So those are the three things that we are thankful for. I think that's a great positive way to bring us out of the episode. So all right. So on that note, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. A lot of things to look forward to. So again, keep your eye on the social media. You can find me everywhere: Instagram, Facebook, whatever, at Latherhog. On YouTube as well. And with Gerard, he is Hey Gerard Shaves on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you if you're watching listening to the episodes, enjoying them. Please let us know. Please share again. We'd love to know that you're with us. We're keeping you company, maybe on a drive or doing some chores. Thank you guys so much for your support, and we hope to catch you in the next episode. Take care now.
Peace.